Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Terminator Dark Fate releases a new trailer. The Joker movie is being hailed as a masterpiece from early reviews, and the New Mutants movie may still be coming out. Only it won't have any mention of the X-Men.
Lame.
Plus, another Patreon-sponsored movie review as we take a look back at the 2005 Joss Whedon sci-fi flick, Serenity.
Geekerific.
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, September 4th, 2019.
Now listen here, bitches. You say you're looking for a podcast about comic books and TV and movies, but you don't know where to go? Well, stop whining and tune into the Jock and Nerd podcast. These are the only guys you'll ever need. They're jockey, they're nerdy, and they're bitches, like you. So keep it on the Jock and Nerd podcast. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up! We're talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah! We're talking, we nerded. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah! We're talking, we nerded. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up? That's what's going on, listener. Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And over there in the corner is our very own psychic puppet weapon, who's on the run from the government. We've stowed him away on our podcast as we rob you of your time and your sanity. Of course, it's really Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Put a bullet in me, Imran.
Yeah, someone needs
Squish.
to take Rugs out of his misery. Flying on the old spaceship. Wow, that was a long-winded allusion to our review later in the show.
Yes.
One that I hope people get, and they're just like, what the hell
Yes,
are you
you don't
talking
think about George Costanza or his father.
Serenity now! Anthony, did these Seinfeld jokes get you?
No.
Yeah, did you never watch the Seinfeld? You missed that whole thing, did you?
I missed all of it, yeah.
Wow.
The only Seinfeld reference I get is the Costanza wallet.
Oh, yeah. All lopsided and big
full
and
of
fat.
everything.
It
Yeah.
kind of looks like my wallet right now. Why is everything on a 45-degree angle? Oh, wait, it's my wallet. Sorry. Well, Anthony, we're glad to have you back.
Hey, thanks.
You get sufficiently...
I wasn't getting married, and I wasn't rehearsing how to eat dinner.
No? That's what I thought. I was like, why do you have to rehearse how to eat dinner? I don't get these weddings. It's weird.
It's
You
strange,
just pick
I know.
up the food,
I wasn't rehearsing
put it
dinner
in your
eating.
mouth.
I don't think Imran's been part of a rehearsal dinner.
No,
Have you ever been asked to be in someone's wedding?
No, and if a motherfucker asked me to be his best man, I'd be like, fuck you.
Oh, shit.
We're not friends anymore. Do you
Why?
know how much money this is going to cost me? What a fucking
Yeah,
inconvenience.
Imran's notoriously cheap.
That's right. You could ask
He really is the cheapest person.
everyone I'm related to.
You've never been in anyone's wedding, huh?
No, not as like part of the stand-up.
Like part of standing up in the wedding.
Yeah, I've never, I mean, I don't know.
In Islam, do they, when they get married, do they have groomsmen and bridesmaids?
They do. I just am not very close with my family.
Jeez.
That's all. But even still, they never call me and be like, hey, you want to be whatever. Look, I'll come to the wedding and I'll buy an appropriately gift that covers the cost of the head of one person at a wedding. It's the least I could do.
Will he?
Sometimes there's an IOU going, I'll get you later, bud. Congratulations. I'm just awful.
That's unbelievable.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Anyways.
I feel like everyone gets involved in a wedding at one time or another.
I mean, even my wedding was a very small, quiet, simple affair. I'm like, none of this bullshit. Plus, it's just a decadent waste of a lot of money for one day. When
You're probably right about that.
you could buy a car, you could put a down payment on a house. You may not even be married a year from now, and you're wasting all this money. It just seems silly. Anyways, enough about my wedding thoughts. This is not a wedding podcast. Let's get to the geek news.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
The worst wedding advice you're ever gonna get.
No, I think you're pretty spot on.
Jock and Nerd.
All right, gang. Let's start with our quick Spider-Man movie watch update 2019.
Oh, shit.
Let me check. Wait. Oh, hold on. No. Oh, wait. No. Nope. Spider-Man's still not in the MCU.
But-
Sorry. Week 3. But you have a butt, Ruggs? I don't have a butt. That's it.
No, Tom Holland was misquoted about playing a gay Spider-Man.
What? I
It
did
was
not
on
see
Twitter.
this.
Someone had asked him if he would, if Spider-Man was gay, would he still play Spider-Man? And he was just like, yeah. And then Twitter all of a sudden made it Tom Holland is the gay Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Tom Holland
So like they
plays gay
just asked him a
Spider-Man.
question and then they ran with it.
Of
It's
course.
just, he had to like put out a statement or he had to expand on what he was talking about. It's just weird.
Have people not learned by now that you can't respond to things like that on Twitter without any further
It, like,
context?
you put a seed in the ground and it grows into a mighty oak very quickly.
Wow. That's what Twitter's
That was
for.
to me the laugh of the day when I went on Twitter.
Anthony, do you have a Spider-Man update? Is he back in the MCU? What do you know? Have you heard anything?
What?
No, I guess not. Moving on. What really we're going to start with is the new Terminator Dark Fate
Yes.
trailer, this picture, directed by Tim Miller, coming out November 1st, featuring Arnold and Linda, and Edward Furlong is back, and this is a second trailer. And here's something you don't hear me say very often. I'm still not digging this at all. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, no. What is this? What did you guys think? We get a little bit more plot, a little bit more clarification that is Arnold Schwarzenegger T-808 still around. But I don't know. Anthony, what did this get you any more hyped, any more geek boner? This honestly, I don't know. It's weird. It did nothing for me.
It didn't. I mean, actually, I didn't find it to be all that bad. I thought it was good.
Okay.
I thought it was solid. The
What
only
did you
problem,
glean from the trailer exactly?
I mean, the only problem is it's still the same story
Yes.
over and over. Now, I mean,
does
I'm sure
seem
there's going to be this like different beats, but it's still overall the same
redundant.
story of saving someone from that's going to stop Judgment Day or the robots or whatever.
Yeah. So basically, from what I've picked up, and obviously from the last trailer, you knew this, is that they stopped Judgment Day, but Judgment Day is inevitable, and now this other woman is going to give birth to the John Connor
Okay.
that stops this new version of the Judgment Day that's going to inevitably happen.
And then it appears that they all go and find Arnold, and he's training the new girl and all of them.
Well, that's the part right there already where the story, not having seen the movie, obviously, but the story doesn't add up. Why is Arnold still in this film?
Because he's still there. Oh, he died at the
Died in
end.
T2. This is the
Because
movie,
this is supposedly a continuation from T2.
a sequel to T2. He's
And if-
ignoring.
And if we're this far into the future, why would Arnold ever get sent back? I don't know. It's just strange.
I also find it strange that there's this article, James Cameron, headline, James Cameron watched the last 3 Terminator movies to figure out what not to do with Dark Fate.
So he never saw them before?
But it doesn't look like he's actually doing something different based on this trailer. He basically said one of the things that seem obvious from looking at the films that came along later, that we would need to get everything back to basics. Instead of making things overly complex, we need to avoid stories that jump around in time. Let's keep it simple in the relative unity of time. He said the first 2 movies played out in less than 2 days. So there's an energy and a sense of urgency. And he also said they thought about this as a 3-story trilogy if this thing does well. He's got some story for 2 more movies. But then he also said he wasn't exactly happy with this script as filming began, and while he was on the set of Avatar, would be punching up pages, rewrites, sending them over, sometimes the day they were going to shoot the scene or the day before. And so I don't know how that goes over with Tim Miller over on the
Does
set.
that make it better?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, here, I'm going to give you a last-minute change.
Right.
Almost let's just throw this in there. I don't know. It could be
The other thing I did notice, it's a very small thing, but finally it looks like the bad Terminator, in this case played by the Hispanic guy, I don't know what his name is.
Gabriel Luna.
Gabriel Luna.
Yeah.
They're making him not this stoic character. There was one scene where he's going through
He's
the
smiling
army
and
base, and
shit.
he has a little bit of personality.
He's making jokes, but all of his stuff, like his powers and his spears, like it kind of reminds me of Venom a little bit. Did everybody get the kind of a Venom symbiote vibe?
There is a Venomness to it, but they've also clarified that the girl is not a robot, or so she says.
She's like, I'm human enhanced.
Yeah. But the thing is, they did this already with the Terminator, the one with Christian Bale, Terminator Salvation. Yeah. What's his name? The Australian actor that now is in Avatar. Sam Worthington's character is also a human-robot hybrid.
So I don't understand why he's like, I've learned what not to do when it all seems the same. James Cameron. Yeah. Anthony, what did you like about this trailer? I do love Arnold going, I can see you're very upset. Like when she first shows up.
I mean, as a Terminator fan, it does make me smile to see Sarah Connor, what's her name?
Linda Hamilton and Arnold
together on the screen. The action looks good. I mean, we'll see. I'm still not geeked about this, but the action does look good. It looks like a summer blockbuster.
Does the CGI look better at all to anyone?
Yeah, the CGI is not quite there yet, but I've seen worse. You know what I mean? I've seen much worse. I mean, Venom was much worse.
Yeah, that's true. And then you have like this elaborate plane sequence that's probably the end of the movie that looks a lot like other movies recently that have a plane sequence. But I do enjoy the point where he shoots him point blank in the face.
Right.
Revealing his thing. And then you got Linda Hamilton going, I'll be back. And it's just like not even really a good line reading. I don't know. I'm very skeptical.
You guys hated that other Terminator movie, right? The one that just came out before this?
Genesis?
That was a mess.
Yeah.
I thought that would have killed the franchise. And yeah, here we are.
I remember going to the movies and enjoying some of the action sequences, but then hating the movie vehemently. I was like, this movie is I hate this movie, but there was some cool action in it. So I was like, I was conflicted. But
I would agree. The action in that was fine. It's just the story was just so off the wall. Stupid.
It was convoluted, jumpy things and just dumb things and dumb choices.
Right.
But you had Daenerys. You had the Mother of Dragons.
Yeah, I don't like that.
She was all right.
I don't like the other guy either. The guy that
Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese is awful.
Yes, he's very wooden.
And then the other guy is John Connor. He wasn't John Connor for me either. I mean, he wasn't a bad actor. He just wasn't John Connor to me. Any of the casting choices in that movie was fucking horrible.
You know, I haven't seen most of like Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show, but everyone says Lena Headey is like their favorite Sarah Connor over Linda Hamilton.
No way.
No?
Linda Hamilton T2, the best.
Yes. There it is.
She's definitely a close second, and the show didn't allow her to be as cool as the movie did.
I see.
But she was pretty badass in that show, though. You should ever check it out.
Featuring Summer Glau as a Terminator, who is going to be in the movie we're going to review.
Absolutely.
Later on. All right, listener, let us know what you thought about this Terminator Dark Fate. Are you geek bonered for it? Geek boner? I don't know. Join our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. It's closed. It's exclusive. It's just for you to hang out, post fun memes, have geeky conversations based on stuff we talk about on the show. Anthony, last week we talked about this Joker trailer, the final Joker trailer.
Yeah.
Let me get your quick thoughts. Where are you with this Joker movie now after this final trailer?
I would agree with what you guys said. The trailer, it looks like art. You know, the trailer itself I thought was good, and it looks like something out of the late 70s. I liked a lot of the stuff they did. But for me, more of the hype is the fact that this movie is getting such great hype in terms of people seeing it early and saying that this is Oscar worthy and getting ovations. So the trailer itself was good. It looks like a one-off movie, but I'm more excited because everyone is saying. I mean, I think there was something that came out that this got higher early reviews than Avengers Endgame, and
wow,
yeah, like this is the most hyped superhero movie since, well, maybe not. Endgame's not that long ago. So, but anyways, it's still very hyped right now. So that's what makes me excited.
The movie is still a month out, but it just premiered at the Venice International Film Festival, and reviews are out. Many people have now seen it. Social media reactions are out. I'm trying to avoid reading the review, but you can't help but notice over and over again. Words like darkly funny, thrilling, tragic, masterpiece. A powerful Oscar-worthy performance from star Joaquin Phoenix. A lot of people giving it perfect scores, even.
Oh shit!
Or close to.
You could take a huge bet on Joaquin Phoenix delivering, and I think that'll carry the movie for me. I don't know if I'm gonna love everything about this movie, but Joaquin Phoenix doing a masterful performance, I'll watch that no matter what kind of. I mean, I watch anything he's in, pretty much.
There's this article on Variety that gives a little bit more insight on what was going through his head. He's going to kill this. He talks about how he read a book on political assassins to get a sense of killers and their motivations. But the main thing this article said to me was that they wanted to create something that wasn't identifiable. He did not get influenced by any former Joker performance. They're trying to create something new and almost create something in the moment, like they're discovering this character. And he goes, what's so attractive about this character for me is he's hard to define, and you don't really want to define him. And I love that he said that, because that is my problem with like a Joker origin movie. I don't want him to be defined, but I feel like they are going to bring something new and a sense of discovery and creation to this that we haven't seen before. Let's talk about the news story. The headline that says Joker receives 8-minute standing ovation after Venice screening as first reviews hit.
Oh shit!
All right, look. I've never been to a film festival, one of these film festivals. I would imagine people, there's a lot of booze going around, you think? People are drinking, having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, booze. I thought you said booze.
Not booze, alcohol.
Booing, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, drinking, alcohol, possibly.
At a film festival?
Right?
Sure. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
I would feel like I feel like these people would be super into like giving it their full attention.
Oh, not being inebriated so they can take in the art?
They can take in the art and like maybe have a beer here or there, but like
there's drugs everywhere.
I mean, that being
gotta be.
if you got booze in you, you're not sitting through that entire fucking film.
I think if
you're
you
getting up to pee.
No, you got a vape pen with some weed and you got a nice cocktail in your hand, you're enjoying the festival, you may stand up and clap for 8 minutes straight.
Oh shit.
This is what I have a problem with. Think about clapping.
Are you trying to justify how this could have happened?
I don't think this has to be exaggerated. Just think about
8 minutes is a very long time.
8 minutes of, I have never clapped more than like 15 to 20.
Workout in 8 minutes.
Yes, you could do a CrossFit WOD and burn calories and build muscle tone and work on your core in 8 minutes. I have never clapped more than maybe 30 seconds at a time.
You can have sex and smoke a cigarette.
Oh my God, you can have sex several times.
Yes.
Several times.
Several. Hundreds.
Ramron, definitely.
Yes, that's a lot. But just, I can't put myself in a theater where you're standing for 8 minutes and just, my hands would be raw. I'd be like, why are we still clapping?
You think it's hyperbole?
4 minutes. I'm sure I got a standing ovation. Blake Braden also pointed out in our Facebook group, Clerks 2 also got an 8-minute standing ovation. Take it for what it's worth. I think people are just drunk and they're happy that the movie's over. I don't know. But the Rotten Tomato score is 88%. Let's see. It hasn't changed.
What we know for sure is
it's 83 now. Sorry.
What we know for sure is that Joaquin Phoenix is going to pull a roll out of his ass that's going to be memorable.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to be the iconic Joker, or is it going to be some psychopath that happens to wear clown makeup? Who cares, right? At the end of the day, you have Joaquin Phoenix in an interesting role.
Another interesting thing Jim Lee said, he posted a lengthy thing on Instagram. He said, there's nothing in this film that's incongruous to what we know and love about the character of the Joker from the comics. Meaning it's Joker. Do you guys think this will be a good step in expanding and pushing the boundaries of comic book movies, quote unquote? This seems something completely different. It's something that maybe the genre needs to mix it up once in a while, keep it fresh.
I think if you're talking about straight up mainstream superheroes, yeah. I mean, Heath Ledger and, the Nolan films definitely are in that same category of like elevating the genre. I think less so with the Marvel movies. I don't think that they're really as Oscar worthy.
No, that's a good point.
In their performances. I mean, they're like the amount of screen time that they have, and they're just like basically ensemble cast where nobody can really give like a nuanced full performance in the Marvel movies, especially the newer ones. But yeah, it's something that's been done before with comic book material.
I mean, now the
but
talk
not
is
a superhero mainstream thing.
This movie could, possibly Best Picture nomination at the Oscars. It sounds like what Logan did to Wolverine. This movie will do to Joker. I'm super psyched. Like this.
Well, that would be my example of why this might just be a one-off, because you had Logan.
Yep.
It's not like all the movies that have come out since were like Logan.
Right.
And you had Dark Knight.
Yeah. It's
not like all the movies ever since that have been like Dark Knight. In fact, Nolan tried to make a sequel to Dark Knight that wasn't like Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So it's my point being is it's hard to come up with that magic and recreate that over and over. And if this movie has that magic, that's great.
Yeah.
But you need the right ingredients to make that happen.
And I think that's why it will work great as a one-off. We were talking last week. If it makes a boatload of money, are they going to turn and be like, hey, River, want to do more of these?
For me, it feels like DC
River.
just kind of stumbled into this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to learn anything. I don't think they're going to be like, this is the way everything's got to be. It's clear to me that Joaquin and the creators of this movie were like, yeah, we don't want to be involved in any of your other bullshit. We're making this movie, but we're making it on our terms. So we might not even follow anything in the canon because we don't give a fuck. We just want to make a joke. We want to make a movie called Joker.
Yeah. And that's what this looks like. And I just called him by his dead brother's name. I said River, not to make this any more morbid that the movie will be.
Yeah. If you want to see like Oscar worthy movies that are based on comics, you got to look at Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
That's a good one.
A History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen. Those are both based on graphic novels, and they're both like Oscar-worthy films that are like deep.
I like Ghost World. It's not Oscar-worthy, but it's a nice, quirky, different comic book movie.
So, it's been done before, but it's just these are like indie comics that are not superhero-oriented and stuff like that. Just comic book movies.
This is the biggest character to try this with.
I think that like you still like with Batman and the Joker in the Nolan movies, you still have that comic book thing where it's, violent, two guys duking it out.
It's still PG-13 though.
Yeah. So this is like a hard R.
Yeah.
It's completely another step in the direction of cinema. So I think it's going to be interesting.
I love the 70s, 80s look of it. The taxi driver meets Mean Streets kind of thing that's going on.
King of comedy, right up and down, even down to the orange suit. Yeah.
It's so, I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait. October 4? I think it's coming out early October. Let's switch over to Marvel and the MCU. The latest news on this redheaded stepchild of an X-Men movie, The New Mutants. Got some more details in a new test screening. Apparently, Marvel removed all the ties to the X-Men franchise and the word mutants in the movie.
So the word mutant isn't in the movie, but it's in the title. That's pretty stupid.
That's a good point. Maybe they'll just refer to him
to the new
as the New Mutants. It said these changes were made to give Kevin Feige an opportunity to bring the X-Men properly and not have this refer to the old Fox universe.
Good idea.
Actually, that's, I was going to agree. That's pretty smart.
So they're dialing back on what it means to be a mutant. It's just going to be a movie about kids with powers and no reference to, but there's a fandom wire says the story is set within a secret facility that experiments on mutants, and the main character, Blue Hunt's Daniel Moonstar, doesn't know she's a mutant or the meaning of the word. Moonstar is brought to the facility after attack by Demon Bear. So they're still kind of following the New Mutant storyline with the Demon Bear, but they may change all that. It is an interesting move. It could work to help save this. I still just put it out already. I kind of want to see this movie. I'm tired of being teased by this one X-Men movie that's probably not any good.
I just don't understand how strategically this is going to work. But by just keep delaying it, the enthusiasm and it's the stink of it being bad is going to keep getting worse. So I don't know.
So also it says that Mr. Sinister was going to be the big bad guy in this movie, and they'd probably have to change that. And there was rumors that John Hamm was cast as Mr. Sinister in the Essex Corporation that they tried to set up
The quicker
apocalypse.
this movie just gets out and
Yeah,
goes away,
just
it's better.
Yes, it's what they
I
did.
The
mean,
fact that it's hanging around.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
they did it with Dark Phoenix. Was like, just get this movie out.
Well,
and
this
move on.
one's even worse because they've like completely reshot. I guess even Dark Phoenix they did, but they've completely reshot it. They're trying to change the tone. Now they don't want to incorporate mutants. You have Marvel buying them. It's just this movie just needs to get out.
And now
go
Disney
away.
is spending more money on this movie that nobody
Well,
knows
it's smart
what to
on
do
Disney
with.
to want to be just get their hands
Yeah,
clean of this because they don't want this to be the first movie they release
with the
under
X-Men.
their banner,
Yeah.
and it's the X-Men, and it's something they had no hand in creating.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I don't know. To me, I think they should have just put it out on streaming without any kind of advertising.
Yep, just release
Because
it. Yeah,
every cent that they spend trying to get people to go to the theater to watch this movie is money that they're never going to get back.
it's cutting into your profit margin.
I mean,
right
They
there.
should release it remember what was that Cloverfield 2?
Yes,
They just released a promo after I think there was a Super Bowl or
and
some
then they
big
put it
event.
out on Netflix.
And it was on Netflix that night. It's like, oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know they were making this movie.
That'd have been great. And you know what? They have 70%, 60% share in Hulu. They want people to sign up to Hulu. Just fucking put this movie out on Hulu. Don't tell anyone. Watch people race over there and get an account and
Yeah,
watch
they
the fucking
shouldn't
New
put it out in the
Mutants.
theaters. They shouldn't. They should try and get money, or they should just because they're going to spend more money trying to get it out there, and they're never going to make it back.
And you got to market
Like,
the
how much
fucking
could it
movie.
possibly make? It's not.
Yeah.
You think it's going to make more than Dark Phoenix? I don't know.
No.
No, not at this point. And you're wasting money on marketing. So this is like a loss, but they're trying to salvage something. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Last week we also talked about D23 and all the awesome announcements. But there was a couple of things that were announced that I wanted to go over that we didn't talk about regarding the theme parks and all the crazy new shit Disney is going to put in their theme parks. The first thing, they're calling this Disney's Avengers Campus. It's like this whole area that's set up like Avengers recruitment centers, and it's where you would go to become an Avenger, but it will have the Disney's first Spider-Man ride
Geek boner.
in the park. And from the description of it, it looks crazy. This is going to be in Hong Kong Disneyland and California, I believe. It's the first ever Spider-Man themed attraction at a Disney park. The ride invites guests on board the web slinger vehicle where you can shoot webs to help Peter catch all the spider bots loose. I read another thing where you go into this lab and Peter Parker's there and he's showing you all his inventions, and there's spider bots, and the spider bots get loose and go crazy, and then you get in this thing, and the concept art has kids like shooting webs at these things. I want to do that. That looks like
I
fun.
got to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Unless I'm going to these parks, don't care.
Well, look, you had Kate and
Don't
Patrick
care.
on your show. They didn't sell you about the whole Disney Springs and adult nightlife.
Yeah, but I mean, what comments am I going to have about a ride that doesn't exist?
I mean, you got to wait 4 hours to get on this thing. And it's
Yes.
over in like less than a minute and a half.
Well, yes, there's
You
been
got to get
10
those fast passes.
You got to
now.
get the fast pass. You can wait
He
10
can get you those.
10 hours to get into fucking Galaxy's Edge. Fuck that shit. But it's a good time to go to the main park. Apparently no one's there. They're also going to have Doctor Strange, California Sanctum. There is a PIM
They should do
test
everything.
kitchen.
And anything
Yes.
they have, they should do all of it. They own it. They should make all of it into some sort of ride or theme park.
Oh,
or-
they're going to milk the shit out of everything.
they should do everything. They should make a whole Marvel section and all their theme parks.
Avengers
I mean,
Campus
like-
2020.
Like if they create something that's truly like magnificent and breathtaking, makes you feel like that you're in a comic book, that would be cool. But I don't know.
I trust Disney when it comes to their theme parks. They're pretty immersive.
Yeah.
That's the first phase. Second phase is going to have Wakanda, and you'll be able to ride a Quinjet to Wakanda and suit up and help Avengers. Like, they're going big with this one. Okay, what about this? Does this get you to go on an even bigger, crazier scale? Disney World has this Star Wars hotel that's going to open. Have you heard about the Star Wars hotel, Anthony?
Right now, I'm hearing about it.
Dude, this thing is crazy. It is a set. There's a couple of weird rules. It's a set 2 day, 3 night trip. And you go there and then you go on a ship, a galactic cruiser. So it's as if you're on a cruise, but you're on a space cruise, and there's an immersive storyline. Wherever you go, the people you interact with will change. It will affect the storyline. It looks like you may even have to wear like certain clothes to like fit into the Star Wars themed hotel. Rumor have it that it's going to cost a little over $3,000 per person.
Oh, shit.
My comment actually on this is, I think there was a stat or some sort of study done with people of my generation and the generation after me, where people nowadays are more and more likely to spend their money on experiences rather than items, houses, cars, property. So, in a sense, this is on trend with what this generation and the next, all the future generations will want to do, is experience something where you step into another world and you're living in it.
It's an immersive experience where you can't get anywhere else. You could take a lot of photos.
Now, I don't know how many of us will have $3,300 to spend on a night.
You see what happens when you legalize pot.
People get stoned. They're like,
I want to be immersed.
What if we had like a Star Wars hotel, dude?
I mean, that whole, what was it called that they built, the Star Wars?
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that thing is nuts in terms of the amount of people that
people are loving it. It's getting a lot of buzz. But this is like a multi-day story unfolds. You interweaves with the cruise. You get on this galaxy cruiser. There's lightsaber training.
When do you rest? Do you just go to your room?
I don't know.
Can you escape all this for a second?
You can. I don't know. It feels like you're always in this. Like you always have to act like you're in Star Wars world. You can go to the bridge. You can learn about the ship. Even the windows will show you space, changing space vistas as if you were out in space on a cruiser. Like, it sounds cool. That price is ridiculous. That means I'm never going there.
I mean, the price is, if you're going to have a hotel where it's literally a different world and everyone that works for the hotel is acting,
yes,
and you have to interact.
Yes.
I mean, the price is ridiculous, but I mean, how much is that thing going to cost?
And it's also, you can only go for the 2-day, 3-night stay. Like, that's it. There's one package. Like, this whole story takes this long.
It's like the beginnings of Westworld.
It is a little bit wrong. So shit. Yes, where you don't know, am I still in space? Am I in Star Wars? Again, more concept art. I'll put links in the show notes. Looks great.
Like nutbags in there that think that that's the real world and start to go out and want to come back. Yeah, they don't want to leave, and then they get out of reality and they think the Earth is crazy.
That's Westworld. You get deeper and deeper. You don't know what's real anymore. Why isn't this lightsaber actually cutting anybody?
What would you rather do? Let me pose this question.
Okay.
Would you rather do a real life or like a simulation, like with real things and that's recreated and you know it's fake? Or would you rather be jacked into a computer?
Like a virtual, like the Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, what would you rather do?
I would rather do the fake thing.
Yeah,
because I feel like that the fake thing has limitations in like how big it could be, but the virtual one could be limitless. It could be like huge.
The only thing, my argument against the virtual one is just getting too lost in it being a new reality. Like tricking your mind so much that your mind is now thinking that this is a reality.
God, I don't know. The real life situation would have limitations, but if it was like Westworld, it would be insane. But you're right, Anthony. You watch Black Mirror. There's several episodes. There's one called Playtester where this guy goes in to test a game, but then you're not entirely sure if he ever gets out of this game,
right?
You know, and you get lost in there. But just the convenience of like the VR, you pop this thing on, you could be wherever you want.
Yeah.
And if there was like a suit that had the sensations, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. It could be limitless if you're in a simulation.
Also like Ready Player One, like all those people in the future are just in VR because the real world is shit.
I mean, I feel like they're both limited in their own separate ways. Like, so it's interesting. What would you choose? Which limitation would you?
Fuck that real world.
Fuck that real. Although if I had the money, I would do the Star Wars hotel in a fucking minute. It sounds
How much is it again?
Rumor. It's not confirmed. Rumor is like $3,000 per person. So two people. Yes. So it's like a murder mystery party that goes on for 3 nights.
I would just go by myself.
Yeah, I would just do me to see what it's like. Like, imagine taking a family of 4.
It's just on you.
Yeah.
But if you take someone and they hate it, then you're you wasted $3,000 and then you have to hear them bitch.
You need to be really into it to like put up with everyone's always being in Star
Yeah.
Wars. Might get annoying.
You would need to be a really big Star Wars fan.
Maybe that's why it's only 2 days long. Because after that, you're like, all right,
I think it should be a day long.
yeah.
I don't think it needs to be 2 days.
One day, and look, Disney's doing some crazy shit out there, and they're going to continue to rule the world. That Watchmen HBO TV show, guys, has a premiere date, October 20th.
Oh shit. Geek boner.
We will be able to watch the first episode of the show, of which we really still, nobody knows anything about this show. Outside of the trailers, they've done a good job at keeping things quiet. I still have no idea what the fuck the show's going to be. But we're going to watch it. We're going to review it.
I hope it's good. I hope it sneaks up on me like the other show that we just watched, The Boys.
The Boys,
where I
yes.
wasn't expecting anything.
Yes.
And then it fucking, you know what? Just did that to me?
What?
Fucking Dark Crystal.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
so
shit.
on Netflix, The Age of Resistance, I've watched the first couple of episodes, Ruggs.
Yeah.
And as a Felty, Ruggs, we are looking at amazing puppeteering. Like it's quite remarkable.
Look, the puppets I'm not really too jazzed about, to be honest with you. I mean, they're doing the best that they can with what they're doing.
They're still Jim
but
Henson
the
puppets.
story
Yeah.
actually is engrossing, and the world building is engrossing. And at a certain point, I'm like, I fucking feel like I'm watching Game of Thrones.
It is. It's very Game of Thrones. There's 7 lands that these Gelflins live in. Anthony, do you remember this movie Dark Crystal from the 80s?
He's never seen
It's all
that.
puppets, Jim Henson puppets. This is a prequel.
Dark Crystal?
You see these crazy puppets. And
It's like nightmare fuel. It's like they made it for kids in the 80s where like they just made the scariest shit for kids.
yeah, when that was the
And
thing you
could
do
go
for
to the
kids.
movies
Yeah.
and be like, what the fuck am I watching? This is so satanic.
I gotta be honest.
Like-
I was never really into the movie. I don't know if I've seen
the
all of
movie's
it.
like almost unwatchable.
Yeah.
I don't like, I'm looking this up. I've
Yeah.
never liked those 80s, 90s films that they made where they were like fantasy book.
It's like a
type
Howard
shit.
the
Like
Duck.
Willow, yeah.
Yeah,
Like Willow, like
yeah.
Labyrinth.
Yeah,
like,
Labyrinth Legend was another one.
There was a one where there was one with a fucking giant lion. He walked into like I don't know what the fuck it was
what was
called.
that one?
I remember
Oh,
watching it.
The Chronicles of Narnia? No.
It'd have been that one. I think it was something similar. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've never liked those like fantasy books where it's based off of like you go into this new world, and that's why it took me so long to even get into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game
Yeah.
of Thrones. Same. But this is kind of like a puppet Game of Thrones.
It
Minus
is.
all the incest and fucking swearing.
Yeah, I started watching that and I was like, I was watching them. Let me appreciate, because we're always talking about practical effects.
Yes, these are amazing
like-
practical effects.
I'm like, you know what? This some motherfucker made all this shit.
Yeah.
We talk about Godzilla. We talk about the miniatures that they make and all that other stuff. I'm like, they made all this shit. I'm like, let me appreciate it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it grabbed me. But I'm hoping that The Watchmen grabs me like this thing, like, because I wasn't expecting anything out of this show. I was like almost like hate watching it, and then I ended up liking it.
And like we don't really know. And I think it's smart for them to keep it mysterious because we don't. It's Damon Lindelof, of course.
Yeah, which I don't know if it's a gift or a curse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Hopefully he has.
Titans, I'll watch because they seem to be kind of like correcting course a little bit. That's
the next thing. Something you can watch right now, listener, as the show posts. Titans season 2 will have started on the
That's
DC
right.
Universe app. You got Connor Kent, Superboy joining Crypto. You got another Deathstroke, but he looks sick in this costume. You got Jorah Mormont as a Bruce Wayne. I'll be checking it out.
we skipped over in DC News bit though.
What? Which is what?
The Birds of Prey teaser came out.
No, it didn't. It wasn't an official one. I thought it was a leaked Ukrainian teaser.
Yeah, but it's legit footage.
Should we watch it, guys?
I don't even know. Is it real?
Is it real?
It's real.
Is it real, like as in real, or is it real as in cosmicnews.com real?
That fucking site. And
I
we
don't
got
know.
this
You
covered.
look at it, you tell me.
So-
I don't
I think
actually.
that they released. I think it was released early, and then they released it legitly. I think.
So the
I'm not
stories
sure.
I'm seeing now, New Birds of Prey teaser is coming to theaters only this weekend, but it does surface online apparently. Google it.
Huh.
Let's
I'm
watch it
looking at
real
this.
quick.
All right.
Talking nerd.
Okay, so we just watched the 39-second teaser.
It was less.
It was less than that. Apparently, only will be in theaters for Birds of Prey. I do like how she's smashing the It balloons at the beginning, and she's like, I'm fucking over clowns. But what did you guys think? What else do we see here?
That's the really. There was a bunch of quick shots of other stuff. The start is clever. It's in line with what you would expect with Harley Quinn. It also is in line with the fact that she's just a Deadpool.
Talking to the camera. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it looks fine.
They're pivoting her to fourth wall breaking type shit.
Everything about it looks about what I would expect with a Harley Quinn led movie, even though it's called Birds of Prey.
Quick shots, lots
she
of colorful
steals
sets.
This movie, I guess.
Yeah.
So they put her right up front, bury everybody else.
I heard that they brought in Chad Stahelski. That's the guy who directed the John Wicks to punch up some of the action.
It looks fine. I mean, it was only 10 seconds. They started off clever, so.
Yeah. And then I love the Yeah, Yeah, Yeah song. Heads will roll. Very appropriate. All right.
We talked about it.
We talked about it once it gets released. Apparently, they're going to put it. This is an interesting move if they're just putting it in the theater first. Make people go out, buy some tickets.
Buy some tickets.
Buy some tickets. All right, let's take a break here. We'll play some promos, and we'll come back and do our Patreon movie review right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav and Full Effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ.
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here for Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Hass.
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
You know what I'm saying? The Dutch.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Cause they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good.
Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think, no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? He on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them. So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is, check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
Do you like superheroes? Do you like movies, television shows, and comic books? Do you like listening to a guy rant about these things for hours on end? Well, then you're in luck, because you need to check out Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape. Featuring me, Scott James Merridew, we'll be talking about a variety of geek and nerdy issues, joined each week by a rotating panel of guests that will try to contain me. Joke's on them, I cannot be contained. So please join us on Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape, where superheroes go to relax, but I never do. Cue the music!
And listener, thanks for hanging out with us each and every week. If you enjoy the show and want to support the show and want more show, join our fan club over at jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
You're going to get bonus content. What happened? Jock and Nerd?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You weren't expecting that.
That particular Jock and Nerd, just imagining you saying it like that.
But it was well placed, well timed. Keeps you on your
just
toes.
the way you had to say that to record it.
You know, that's before we even recorded an episode. We've used these drops.
I remember that.
Very first thing, and it still worked.
Jock and Nerd.
Why? Why did I think this would be a good idea?
It sounds like a weird bird to say.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds so strange.
But now we got everybody doing it on podcasts. People walk by my office and I hear it. It's ridiculous. Anyways, join the fan
how
club.
did you come up with that voice?
I don't know. I was just like, I think I should just go, Jock and Nerd. I was like, I don't know.
Even there, the way you just said it now is a lot higher than how you say it in that.
But yeah, my voice was lower.
You're like, Jock and Nerd.
It's like angry.
It does sound like a bird.
Sounds like someone's either grabbing his nuts as he's saying it, or he's pretending to be a bird.
That's what happens when you grab my nuts and twist right. When you twist left, it's a different sound. All of those, like even the Geek Boner. I was like, why did I record this? Like, I don't know. Why did I record? Oh shit, it's something I needed. Who knows?
Oh, shit.
Anyways, join our fan club because you will get access to a bonus RSS feed that has tons of extra content, bonus content, instant reactions, whole episodes. All the shows come out early. This show, Anthony's spinoff show. And at the $10 a month level, listener, you get to pick any movie you want, force us to watch it, and review it. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes it's movies from my childhood that Anthony doesn't want to watch. Sometimes it's movies from Anthony's childhood that me and Ruggs, the two old fucks, don't want to watch. This time we're going to do one now, and it's actually a pretty fucking decent movie.
Oh, shit.
I don't think it backfired. So jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up. Get us to talk about whatever movie you want. Let's get to the review. This review is sponsored by listener, Patreon supporter, Cialis and Olestra. Talk to your doctor before taking these. No, the lovely and badass Lisa Morrison, who has been a patron for 20 months.
Oh, the patron saint of Morrison.
A patron saint of Morrison's, and is at the $10 a month. Thank you so much, Lisa Morrison. She has picked the movie Serenity from 2005. Joss Whedon's Serenity. Here's how she picked it, though. Originally, if you guys remember, Jose Ibarra. Jose picked the movie Serenity, but then Anthony had to go and disrespect Warwick Davis on the air.
Oh, shit.
And he switched his to Willow, at which point Lisa Morrison signed up, and she's like, I'm putting it back on the docket. One of my favorite movies. She loves this
movie, and she wants us to review it.
Yes, here is your spoiler alert from a movie from 2005.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Written and directed by one Joss Whedon, based on a Joss Whedon TV show called Firefly.
Right.
Short-lived, much-loved sci-fi show on Fox. Ran from 2002 to 2003. Only 14 episodes, season 1. In fact, on episode 11, they were told the show was canceled.
Bye-bye.
And they did they claimed there wasn't enough viewers, but they did the thing where they put it on Friday late at night. And then
they kept on moving it around.
And they didn't play all the shows in order either, did they, Rux?
No, they were not in order.
Yes.
They fucked this show big time.
They super fucked the show. In fact, Serenity is the name of the 2-hour pilot of Firefly. Rotten Tomatoes, this show, movie, 83%. 7.17 out of 10 on the Rotten Tomatoes. Box office wise, this movie made in 2005 for a crazy low sum of $39 million.
Oh, shit.
Rumor has it Joss Whedon originally was like, give me $100 million and 50 days. And they were like, nope. And he goes, okay, give me $40 million and like 25 10-hour days. And they're like, okay. So the movie ends up making $10 million opening weekend way back in November of 2005 and finishes worldwide with little over $38 million. So
right.
Just kind of broke even. The fans loved it of the show. Like I said, written and directed by Joss Whedon as a conclusion to the series Firefly, starring all of the cast, the main actors from the TV show. Also, something crazy, this was Whedon's very first theatrical fucking movie. Like, he loved this project so much. He went out on a limb. Fan support was high.
He did Buffy the Vampire Slayer too.
Yes, so Buffy ended this in 2002, spring.
No, the movie, the actual film.
He did the movie.
Was involved with that as well.
But this is his first writing directing debut, from what I understand, right?
Yes.
Cast, you got Nathan Fillion as Mal, Gina Torres as Zoe, Alan Tudyk as Wash, Morena Baccarin as Inara, Adam Baldwin as Jane, and then you got Summer Glau as River, Ron Glass, Shepard Brook, Chiwetel Ejiofor as the operative, and Sarah Paulson, who's done a lot of stuff, and then a bunch.
Jewel State there.
Jewel State as Kaylee. Oh, I forgot about Kaylee. Kaylee didn't have a lot to do in this movie, unfortunately. No. She's a great character. Ruggs, let's start with you. You watched the whole show?
All right, so I was told by, I think it's Scott Weinstein.
Yeah.
Gotta watch Firefly.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find it, and then it was never on at the right time.
Yes.
I couldn't follow it because it was out of order.
That's a problem.
And I was like, I kind of like it, but I really don't get it.
Yeah.
And then it got canceled. And the Browncoats, which were the fans of the show.
Yep.
They were the stands, or whatever you want to fucking call them. I hate that word. Stand. Anyway, they were the fans of the show, and they there was so much of an upswell of people wanting more of this that I guess that gave Joss the juice to go ahead and make this movie, which should have never been made.
Yes, the season 1 DVDs were selling out in 24 hours when it came out.
Right. So I watched it on DVD because, I wanted to see it in order and the way it was meant to be. And man, I fucking loved it. And I was like, man, this did not come across on network TV how good it is. Like I sat there and I binge watched it, right? So then this movie comes out, I guess, to end the story.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of what he was going to do for season 2.
Yeah. And it's a low budget movie. I really think it's great. I mean, for what it is, it's not going to stand up to the big budget crazy movies of it, but it's got everything that you expect from an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
It's got snappy dialogue.
Yeah.
It's got people working together. It's got a layered subtext of a story that means different things.
Ensemble cast.
Yeah. It's talking about control versus freedom. It's talking about what the price of that is and all that other stuff. And it's kind of a deep thing. So I kind of have a soft spot for this, even though I could totally see somebody going, it's all right. So my bend on it is that I was excited when I came out of the movie and go, I can't wait to see it again. And, if they would have maybe put another 10 million into this movie, it could have been fucking a classic.
Anthony, did you know about any of this going into this movie?
Any of what?
Firefly, TV show,
yeah, I was
Joss
aware
Whedon,
of Firefly,
Serenity.
It's Joss Whedon, but I was only aware of it because of Joss Whedon getting the part to do Avengers. And then doing research and being like, oh, all these fucking nerds love this guy.
Yeah,
they want him to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why. Okay. Never went back and watched Firefly or Serenity, so this is my first time seeing anything like this.
So that's interesting because I think he does a good job of dealing with the viewer who would love the show and dealing with the viewer that's never seen the show. So Anthony, you're good at this. Why don't you give us a quick plot recap? What happens in this movie?
Oh, okay.
I love when you do these.
There's this alliance, which is this group of this government force that controls many planets and many people because Earth is uninhabitable, and they've been doing nefarious things, including experimenting on this one girl that happens to get on this ship with these ragtag group of thieves, and they end up getting caught up in some sort of government mystery that was much bigger than what they anticipated.
That's not a bad synopsis.
Pretty good.
That's pretty accurate. They've so what did you think? Give me some opening thoughts after having watched the Serenity. Yeah.
It was all right.
Oh shit.
I think I was missing something though, because I feel like if I would have watched Firefly, I might have grown to like these characters a lot more. For me, the most intriguing characters, Chitwell Uffer, whatever his name is.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, the operative.
The operative I felt was the most interesting character. There is some interesting stuff in there, but what holds it back for me is I'm not in love with the main cast of characters.
Yeah.
I just didn't grow. Some of the quippy lines were funny, and I can see how Whedon had developed his ensemble and the way he writes dialogue.
Yep.
Because this will definitely carries over into Avengers, but overall, it felt like to me that I was missing the boat because I didn't see Firefly, and for me, the sci-fi level CGI is really bad.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, I
understand the budget is not there, but it does hold it back from me getting totally immersed in this world.
They totally tried to do too much with too little of a budget. So they tried to give you all of these worlds.
Yeah.
And all of these cities.
All shot in California, this movie, by the way.
A speeder bike thing.
Yeah.
They tried to do all this stuff that would be in a Star Wars movie, for example.
Yeah.
Or a Han Solo movie. Actually, I think this is better than Solo. It's more of a fun watch than Solo for me. but it is a Han Solo movie. It's what it is.
I mean, Mal is
with
Han
zombies.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yes, with space zombies and space pirates.
Yeah. But, they didn't have the budget to really do what they wanted to do. And I do think watching Firefly, you get a more of a sense of like Mal's relationship with Inara and what that's all about. Like, did you figure out that she was a prostitute?
I had no idea.
See, that doesn't come
across. I
across.
gloss over that.
Was Rain in the TV show?
Who? Wait, which one?
Not Rain. River. Sorry.
Yes, River and
See,
Simon.
that was
were
another
both.
thing too, where because I didn't watch the TV show, so in the movie, the Dr. Simon, right?
Yes, Simon is her brother.
They escape with River.
Yeah,
and then the next scene is them on the
He's
ship
with her. Yes,
with Mal.
Right.
And I'm just like, why?
So for the fans of the TV show, this is a part of the backstory you never got about how River seeing this with River.
But it left me as someone that hasn't seen the show. I was like, why are they on? How did they get to the ship? Yeah, why are they hanging out?
When did this happen? I thought so. I mean, I saw this movie. I think this is only the second time I've seen this movie, and I did watch Firefly a long time ago. I did enjoy it. I do enjoy kind of the Western space opera slant. I do appreciate that they tried to use practical effects as much as they could because of the budget, but the times when it slips into TV level CGI does take you right out of the movie.
There is like a TV-ness of it.
There is a little bit because originally Whedon wanted to do a little bigger budget made for TV movie to finish this up. He got a deal with Universal, talked them into it, and the fans really wanted it. So the compromise was like, we'll give you $40 million, make it work. But I do love in the beginning the tracking shot through the Serenity, because on the show, the ship was like a character. The ship was the 10th character, and they recreated the whole interior of the ship from the TV show because they had destroyed the set and they had to rebuild everything. And that tracking shot in the beginning is amazing because you really get to meet all the characters kind of real quickly. I thought he set it up well. But again, I'm watching this having known a little bit about Firefly. So... And also Anthony Inara and that guy Shepard Book, Ron Glass, they were on the ship during the show.
Yes.
So 6 months pass after the last episode, the final episode in this, where Inara and Book.
So where does this occur? Because she escapes in the beginning of the show or the movie.
That's the flashback.
That's a flashback.
Yes, and then real time is when we get to the ship and you meet the crew.
Yeah, they don't do a good job. I think what they did was they didn't make that evident. And for whatever reason, to get people into the Serenity and into the crew and everything, I feel like that was kind of like a lapse. And most people will be confused by that if they didn't see the show. It's one of those things. That's why I'm like, this movie shouldn't exist. There shouldn't be a movie about or completing a story of a show that nobody watched.
It's kind of a crazy, unique thing for this even to happen.
Because, like, anybody who went to go see this is going to sit there and be scratching their head and being like, I know I'm missing something. There's something that incomplete about this. And they're banking on, Chiwetel Ejiofor's performance.
Yeah, which he's great. He's really good.
And
yes.
This brilliant story that they came up with. This is a great story.
I think the storytelling and the story is really good.
But
yes.
It's so poignant right now because we're talking about right now, people censoring people,
conditioning people, programming,
telling people how to talk, what to say. Trying not to be threatening at all. Everybody has to just be nice, and then how the nicety basically takes away any kind of adversity, and human beings need adversity to live. I mean, even in the Matrix, they say that they made a perfect Matrix where everything was beautiful, and that didn't work. Everybody died. So this is like a kind of a doubling down on that. They go and they say, basically the mystery of the movie is that, they get, this girl who is a psychic, and she's able to glean from all of these people that are experimenting on her that they've experimented on humans before. And what they did was create by accident a race of people who murder and rape and these murderous zombies that ride around the galaxy.
The Reavers.
Called the Reavers, that just land on a planet and just fucking lay it to waste. And the reason that these things got invented or happened is because they tried to create a chemical that would calm humans down to the point of and it had an adverse reaction on a small percentage of that. Basically,
it rotted the other humans, though.
Yes.
too. So it created two bad situations.
So I thought that was really brilliant, and
Yes.
I thought that was really interesting, and I would love to see that explored on a much larger scale.
I love that.
I would agree with that storyline, that the third act, that part with when they get to Miranda, on to even when Mal shows the operative the videos, and then the operative lets them go, and they have their little back and forth speech about the operative killing, like Mal being like, you got to kill all of my own just to create a better world. And well, I'm not even part of this, but like all that philosophical stuff was good.
I mean, I liked how the operative wasn't like a 2-dimensional guy. Like he actually he's the guy. He
makes the movie.
He is the guy who thinks he's doing the right thing until he's shown something different, which is what Mal shows him. Look, back in the Roger Ebert review,
he is basically like the hand of God. He thinks of himself like that. Like he knows he's doing devious things, but he's doing it for the greater good.
The idea of removing sin from everyone, it's not that simple, because, what is sin? Roger Ebert compared this movie to Brave New World in 1984 because it is a critique of contemporary society. The Alliance is Big Brother. And if you can't dissent, then you're out. There's the fight for freedom. I love the whole idea of the war. Summer Glau, first of all, that scene in the nightclub where she gets activated and says Miranda, this chick kicks all sorts of ass. Dude.
Oh shit.
Holy shit. She's actually trained in ballet and martial arts, and she did a lot of her own stunt work.
It was a lot. They cut to her. You saw her face doing the moves.
Anthony, what'd you think of Summer Glau's fighting? I thought she was fucking badass.
No, they did a really good job in terms of having her fight a zillion people at one time and making it look like she's actually kicking everyone's ass.
I mean, it's not Russo brothers level by any means.
Right, but it's good for 2005.
For what he was able to cobble together.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive. But one of the things I want to get back to about Chiwetel Ejiofor is that his whole way that he handled this layered performance of always trying to seem calm,
right,
and unaffected, but you could see something boiling underneath him.
Yes, so good. And
in a movie like this, it doesn't belong here.
No, it's so elevated. He does elevate the whole movie.
He's the one that kept me intrigued by the movie because, frankly, like I said, I didn't watch the TV show, so I didn't grow to love these characters.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just a bunch of quipping characters that are making jokes, and Mal's kind of being like the hard ass Indiana Jones solo type. I'm seeing a lot of tropes here.
Yeah.
But his character, I was like, oh, this isn't just an evil guy. This is a guy that, like I mentioned earlier, is literally thinks he's doing the Lord's work here.
And he was not in the show. He's new for the movie.
I mean, it's interesting that I don't know Ejiofor's history in other movies, but it's interesting that Whedon discovered him this early in his career.
Right? You could see a lot of early discovery.
Yeah, this was his big breakout for me in sci-fi and stuff. But another thing I wanted... Oh, man, I had a train of thought and I just burped and I forgot.
The thought went out. Anthony, what'd you say about thoughts being alive? He burped his thought out, now somebody else has it.
Yeah, someone else has that
shit
thought.
balls. I was full disclosure, I'm going to say this, and I know Lisa's going to fall out of her chair.
Yeah.
That I don't really like the cast of the show.
Oh shit!
Really?
Besides Alan Tudyk,
Alan Tudyk's great. I love Summer Glau.
Summer Glau's good and Gina's good.
You don't like Nathan Fillion?
I got to agree. I didn't fall in love with this cast at all. That was one of my biggest disappointments. Is I knew that Whedon was good with ensemble casts.
Yeah,
and he made me love the Avengers together.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed by anyone on the main crew. I wasn't like, wow, they're like this. They really got a great chemistry, or wow, like each of these have an interesting personality that I can hook onto.
Like, I feel like Jane could be done better. I feel like Malcolm Reynolds could be done better.
Well, and like we said,
I feel like Inara could be done better.
Kaylee didn't have a lot to do, and she was really good. And Whedon writes great women characters, and you could see that in River Tam. Kaylee, it was unfortunate. She's very cute, very great character on the show. Really not doing a lot.
River Tam's okay. I mean, but she's interesting because she's crazy, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
What about? I mean, I know that he's written great women characters before, but the other three are pretty interchangeable. I mean, you got Monica Baccarin just looking hot. You have
Morena Baccarin.
Morena Baccarin. Sorry,
Gina Torres was
Gina
not bad. She played Zoe Wash's wife. Yes,
she's just the wife of the guy. She's not really. I mean, she has her little moment at the end
She's
where
like
she
a second in command.
Yeah.
And then the other girl's just jokes.
Yeah.
Right? She's just the joke. She's the one that literally, the most memorable thing about her is she's like, oh, I'm going to have sex with you? Fuck this. I'm going to live.
She's like, I want to live now. Do you mean sex? Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I just didn't. And again, it's partly my fault. I didn't watch Firefly. So maybe you needed to do all that legwork.
Even though I did watch Firefly, I always thought, I'm like, it works on TV because like it's good enough for TV. In fact, it's pretty good for TV at that time. But for a movie, I feel like these guys are not able to really carry it.
I'm surprised they threw the whole cast in the movie.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, I'll agree with that, Ruggs, that they could carry the weight of being in a movie. Like, there's a difference between feeling like you're on TV and being like, okay, and then feeling like you're in a movie and you're like, okay, this is cinematic now.
I'm going to say this out loud and people are going to probably get really
Get your
pissed.
Twitter out, everyone.
So just do this. Just do this little experiment for me.
Yeah.
Just take Nathan Fillion out.
Yeah.
And put Sawyer in from Lost.
Sawyer from Lost. What was that guy's name? I don't know. That guy, I don't know. That guy rubs me wrong sometimes. I don't.
That's exactly what he should do.
I don't like.
You should not trust him. You should be like, I don't believe, like Malcolm Reynolds.
Josh Holloway.
You never think that he's really a bad guy.
No,
you know that he's got a heart of gold and he's just always going to soft those way. Like, I want to see Sawyer, a guy I don't fucking trust.
Who looks like a
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Fillion did a good job of playing that hard-nosed guy, but you know that he will do the right thing, and he's a little
I got
bit
another
of
angle on Fillion.
Yeah.
I just didn't believe physically he could ever beat Chiwetel Ejiofor.
No, he shouldn't have been able to fight him at all.
Whenever he fights him, I'm like, okay, Mal just looks like a bumbling idiot.
The operative should have cleaned up and cleaned
I
his
have
clock.
no idea why he's hanging with him.
He's got too much of a comedic bent to him. Like he can't shake it.
Even when he was being serious, I almost admit, like every time he was real fucking serious, I almost imagined him like busting out laughing. I'm like, I got you.
He's got that speech in the middle, which isn't bad. It's this big rah-rah speech.
I always think of Nathan Fillion as more of a comedic personality or someone that does Green Lantern for Justice League comic or videos. Or movies.
Oh, does he?
He does Hal Jordan all the time for Justice League.
Oh, he does the voice.
So that's the thing too. So I'm hearing he does Hal Jordan. He usually does Hal Jordan in like a quippy sort of way.
For me, he's the guy from that show Castle.
Like Malcolm Reynolds should be he should be a war gristled hero that is on the losing side of a war, that got his ass beat, that is now turning to being this pirate and having questionable morals. And everybody thinks he's a scumbag on a ship, and they do. But he doesn't really reflect that. He just reflects kind of like this milquetoast bad guy.
Does he give off the vibe that he's been through a war and now is looking for a new war to fight? Like every time he'd be like, I'm paraphrasing, I'm looking for the new war. Or you're looking for the new war, Mal. Like you're going to war again. I'm like, yeah, man, this motherfucker's never been to war.
This guy's never seen war. Look at his fucking pretty
face. Look at this
face.
idiot.
Yeah.
Look at his soft hands.
Yeah, right?
But people who love Nathan Fillion are going to fucking flip the fuck out that I said this. But like, I mean, I'm just being honest. This movie could be better served, or this character could be better served by a better actor that's more in line with what it is.
Josh Holloway, maybe.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, I remember watching Lost and thinking, this motherfucker, I can't trust him as far as I could throw him. He has that drawl that seems like a pirate would have.
Yeah, he seems more like a thief.
About him.
Yes.
Yes.
Josh Holloway seems more like a thief than
and
Fillion.
He's fucking tall and he can kick some ass, right? So he's got all the same things. He's just more slimy, and I want him to be a little bit more slimy.
Nathan Fillion in Big Mouth as himself. I forgot about that. In a bunch of episodes, and he is on the cast list of James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Oh shit!
I don't know what he's playing. There's no name, but he's going to be in that movie.
Okay.
One of my favorite moments, like this is what he fucking does in the movie, and I can't buy Nathan Fillion doing this. He straps his friends' dead bodies to his ship.
Yeah, that was rough.
Oh yeah, for the Reavers to get through the Reaver.
And I'm like, that's a badass move that you have to be a fucking stone cold motherfucker.
But you're right. He doesn't come across as that
for
guy.
a second.
That's a good point.
But It's a genius thing.
I was going to say that was an incongruent feeling that I had of like, wow, that's really disturbing. But that's you saying that.
Yes, if that is a guy that you don't trust, then it would make sense.
So Whedon got to do stuff on this movie that they wouldn't let him do on the TV show. But Fillion is so TV friendly that it doesn't kind of connect, you know.
But I will say, as even though I was the guy that started off, it's all right. There are a lot of elements there of really good storytelling, really clever filmmaking, things that like.
What kind of stuff did you like? Because I have some.
I mean, the whole third act. I mean, the world building that is there, the bigger themes of control and doing what you think is right and kind of bucking the system. All those things, I mean, are poignant, and they all kind of meld together in a way that is really good in this film. Like I give the film a lot of credit. It's just the cast for me and the sci-fi TV level graphics just really damage that. Like this is like even if it reminded me of like if Sharknado had a really great plot. But you saw these fake sharks coming all the goddamn time.
I think it's a little bit above that.
I know, I'm being a little, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but some of the space stuff especially, I'm just going,
I can see that. It's a little bit above TV level. It's not like quite prime movie, like blockbuster level, effects. But there are moments in this movie where it does surprise you, and you're like, "Oh fuck!" Like when they get the Reavers to follow them,
I love
and
that.
they come through the cloud, and they see that one ship, and you see the operative. He's just like, "Oh,
we got him. Here he is."
Yeah, we got him. Like, just let him come in, and all of a sudden, all the Reavers come in, and then the Firefly is weaving in and out of these ships. Like, even though it was terrible graphics, It was very fucking gripping.
It was very exciting. What a great move to pull the Reavers through. And I love that's the one time the operative actually loses his shit and is not calm. He's like, fire at the Reavers, fire at the ship. Somebody fucking fire something.
The part where they completely fucked that up is that after the Firefly, the Serenity lands. Yeah. Then it just looks really bad. It's like it's just like scraping by like really poorly into the bay there. And I'm like, they could have done that way better. It could have been way more of a crash.
I love that scene also. The other thing I loved was how the Chinese influence is so big in the future that everybody swears in Chinese and they're talking Chinese and it's normal. And also some of the dialogue where it was kind of like old Westy dialogue turned like they still talk like they're in the Wild West.
And that bothers me sometimes. It's like
a fun idea though.
Like Joss Whedon, and a lot of people do this. They kind of come up with their own like jargon and vernacular, and because it's like years in the future, and people don't speak the same way. They have different slang.
Only one to do it right is Battlestar Galactica TV show, the reboot. I think it's the only one. They did it okay,
but I mean they're trying to do the same thing, but like. Every once in a while, I'm like, that's a little bit, I don't know. That doesn't sound like it would be a thing.
I remember watching Battlestar Galactica, and they kept saying frack, and I was like, they're just getting away with saying fuck, pretty much. This is fucking brilliant. You just say frack for everything, and it's like your brain just hears fuck, and you could get away with it.
Farscape used Frel.
Oh, Frel? See, that's not as good. You need the K. You need the hard K sound because it's funny. Right. Hard Ks are always funny, and lands a good punchline.
So where do we go? Is there anything else we need to mention here?
Any other scenes you liked? I mean, overall, it is surprising that the movie got made. I do enjoy the Western sci-fi nature of it. And
the movie also, I will give you this. It gives it does a good job of kind of throwing you off on tone. And there are parts of time where I'm like, I'm a little too thrown off. Especially when Nathan Fillion's acting real serious.
Yeah.
But like the beginning, right? So you have the dream sequence, and then it cuts to the scene of Rain River. Sorry.
Where they're shoving the thing in her forehead.
Yeah, where she's got a needle in her fucking forehead. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then the scene where what is it called? The operative hits the dude in the fucking nerve endings, and then puts his sword in front of him, and just like has him fall on his sword as he said he would.
Yeah.
So like that stuff, I was like, oh wow, this is
dark.
Joss Whedon. I didn't know you had this in you.
Yeah.
I'm used to you doing Avengers jokes.
Yeah. But no, he's got some darkness, and I think for the fans, it was nice to see.
It is a really strange movie in retrospect. Movie that was made for the hardcore fans that no one watched, or for a TV show that not a lot of people watched.
In the early 2000s and the late 90s, I was all about Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, both of those shows. There would be no Arrowverse without those shows. There would be no, a lot of TV without that. That broke so much ground, and it basically was the blueprint for comic book movies. And so, I am not surprised that, Serenity still kind of holds up in a favorable way, even though it shouldn't exist. And it's, got a TV cast in a movie, and, it's got TV effects in a movie.
I know, but for what it is, it delivers. It's a fun movie. It's entertaining.
I enjoyed it. I've seen this movie at least 5 times, and I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, because I came out in 2005, so I feel like I watched it a few times when it came out.
Yeah.
When it first came out on DVD, I watched it a couple times. So this is probably my 4th or 5th time seeing it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I found new things to like about it. So I really think that there is something to Joss Whedon, and it's sad that he has the stench of Justice League on him. And,
it shouldn't be his fault either, though.
And not only that, he's been Me Too'd and all that other stuff. So
he'll be back.
So I wonder what he's going to do next. I hope that he does something again.
Do you think Joss Whedon's, with the stink of Justice League, do you think the way he writes and his style and all that, do you think it can still hold up today? Or have we seen too much of it now where he need to kind of reinvent himself a little bit?
He does need to reinvent himself.
He's done all his tricks. All the tricks he has in his bag,
everyone's been doing his tricks.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone's been doing his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything that you see that's superhero oriented or an ensemble cast that's the Scooby Gang.
That's Buffy, man. It's all because of Buffy. And
look, every show does it. Arrow does it.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing Joss Whedon.
The entire CW.
That's why they got him to do the Avengers,
as
right?
Joss
Whedon,
Whedon,
the ensemble guy.
To think. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And he writes women fairly good, except for that Wonder Woman script that I don't know why it was not good. I haven't read it.
I don't know. I mean, I have to read. I never read it either.
But back in 2005, to market this movie, they did some early viral marketing. 2005. YouTube didn't start till 05 or 06. He made a bunch of anonymous, short, low quality, black and white videos titled Session 416 or the R-TAM Sessions. They were put on various websites and message boards. They were not released in chronological order. What it was River at her therapist. Joss Whedon was playing her therapist, and these were the sessions that the Alliance had with her, interviewing her, video documentation of how she changed while she was with them. So this was kind of the marketing he used to hype the film. But clearly, it was a hard film to market, and people did not come out as much as they wanted.
Look, this movie was doomed from the beginning. There's no way. They changed the name of it. They didn't call it Firefly, so it had nothing to do with the show.
Well, he did that because of licensing rights with Fox owned the name Firefly.
So they call it Serenity, which is
the name of the ship and the name of the
Serenity
pilot.
Doesn't sound like a sci-fi movie.
No, and this is not the Matthew McConaughey movie that just came out this year.
Yeah, so it
Serenity
doesn't have that kind of punch that will get snakes on a plane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It doesn't tell you the same problem. Anything.
It was what's Pacific Rim? Is it about surfing? I don't know what it's about.
John Carter, same thing.
Yeah,
the fuck is John Carter?
If you name something that's not going to catch the attention of people when they're looking at what's out this week, that already kills it right there. Then you have
what was Serenity, by the way?
The name of the ship.
That's the name of the ship. Yeah.
I didn't.
It was on the side of the ship in the beginning.
I didn't completely figure it out.
And then she's painting it.
Serenity is. Okay, so
then why was the show called Firefly?
Because Firefly is the kind of ship it is.
Oh,
so whenever they would land and dock somewhere, they would say, "Oh, Firefly coming in," because they don't know what the name of the ship is. That's something that they keep to them. That's to themselves. It's called Serenity.
Got it.
But it's a Firefly class ship, and the Serenity is named after the Battle of Serenity Valley, where all of his platoon got killed. So he named the ship after that battle.
Do you think Serenity is better than the Firefly series?
I do.
Why?
In terms of that world building, because you get the whole story there.
Well, in the show, the Alliance was vague.
Yes.
So they gave you all that backstory.
The characters were better on the show because it's a drama about their relationships. And that's interchangeable.
Also,
right?
They never showed the Reavers on the show. They just talked about them.
Yes. So, here you get the culmination of Number one, you get to know what the fuck happened. Why were they at war? Why are there brown coats?
Yeah.
What were they doing that was so like if you don't watch, you can watch the show and never and not see the movie, and you don't know what the fuck anything is. Here you can get the idea of what the story is and then want to watch the show.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I would think that you would still get enough information to get you.
You have
curious.
the essence of what's there, and it might pique your interest to go further.
Anthony, you gonna go back and watch the show?
No.
Well, listen, 2005 was that was the heyday of DVDs. You guys remember? Like, that's when I think I discovered The Sopranos on DVD.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get things streaming. You had to buy the DVD sets.
I have a fucking huge DVD collection.
And I think a lot of people discovered the show on DVD.
One of my big issues, I think, and I've been spoiled by watching modern TV, is it's tough for me to now go back to like mid 2000s TV and watch
that shit.
Watch that, and some of the set design and the act, not even the acting, but like just the
production of
the
it,
production design. It really, like, that's why I was saying this. It took me out a lot of this movie.
But I feel like it's liberating to go back, because I think we were more likely to like let things fly back then.
Yeah,
and I mean, I guess that's what's bad to some people, that like, whatever. But like, it's more interesting. It's interesting to see things that are like whatever, a little bit sketchy or whatever.
It was
or a little
definitely
bit
less
rougher.
safe. Yeah, it wasn't as
Raw,
safe.
More raw,
more raw and real.
And
I wouldn't go real, but yes,
well,
raw.
not real, but raw.
I don't know about real, but like you get to see a little bit more of risks taken.
Yeah,
and now, like, people might say, well, there's nothing risky about this and that because that's been a trope forever, blah, blah, blah. Fine. But you had stuff like Xena Warrior Princess. You had stuff that was kind of like trying to be different and trying to be out there and doing weird shit. So it was a weird time for TV. And I know if you look back at it now, it's really bad and cheesy, but could you imagine the Xena Warrior Princess on right now?
I love Xena.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's laughable. But
yeah, it's laughable.
But if you are a big fan of the Whedonverse, this is a huge part of it, and in the journey of him making these shows to becoming a director to getting Marvel. I love how you could see his style already, and
you see the through line to where he got to Avengers.
Yeah,
I think that this is a cool idea, and I feel like someone should try and explore something like this on a real grand scale. Maybe even in a TV show, like we have now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about the level that people are spending on streaming shows now.
Imagine like the Lost in Space show budget on Netflix, and you do a Firefly that way. It'd be amazing.
But you do a show about, maybe not Firefly,
but the same kind of concept. Yeah,
the idea that okay, Earth has become uninhabitable. We've had to go off planet and start new worlds, and what all of that politically what happens?
Yeah, that'd be
like,
interesting.
What is that about? What happens when you get out there and you start a new world? Like Lost in Space is a little bit about that.
It is a little bit like that. I hope they do more.
But it needs that next level. It needs more edge to it. You know?
Anthony, give us a rating. What would you rate this movie out of 10?
6.2.
Okay, fair enough. Ruggs, what would you give it?
I think I give it slightly high. I think I give it a solid 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a 7.75. I'm going to go 7.75 because I do love the Joss Whedon, and I do love his dialogue and his character work.
Hey man, I was all in for this movie when it first came out.
Yeah, a lot of people were. I remember the buzz, and then it was only in the theater for like 3 weeks. And
I
then
was there.
left.
I saw it in the theater.
Did not have a long run, but a lot of people recommended this later. I think the DVD sales were good for this too. So
I think that it made me like appreciate the show more.
Yeah,
and it really made me like. It turned me around on this whole space western thing because I was against that shit.
And it's not a Star Wars ripoff. I really think they did kind of get to do their own thing, and it's just a shame they fucked the show up. If you were a Firefly fan.
Well, there's no aliens. That's fucking number one.
On the show, yeah.
There's just humanity.
Yeah, it's all people. That's true. It's just people fucking each other over. Except for the Reavers, they're still people. They're zombie people, space zombies. As to if they are ever going to continue this, Now, after it sounds like nobody wants to go back to it. Like Nathan Fillion doesn't want to do it. Joss Whedon's not really interested in going back. So if you were looking for a sequel to Serenity, which is funny because this is why they killed Alan Tudyk's character. And by the way,
that was surprising too. I was
what
like, what
a
the
weird
hell?
fucking death.
That's a strange. That was a strange fucking death.
Yes, probably the most out of nowhere strangest death in any movie.
That was a left field. That death was not.
It was like a Trinity, same death, right?
He's just sitting there.
That was not earned or built up to, or like there was no point in that character dying there other than just doing it, just to do it.
Well, the point for him killing Alan Tudyk and Booker. Ron Glass's character is that those two couldn't sign up for potential sequels. So they had to remove them if there was going to be sequels. They're like, we're going to have to kill you guys because you can't give us 3 movies. That's the only reason they killed
There's
him.
no way in hell there are going to be 3 movies.
No, it wasn't. No, in the event. They were like, if this happens. But it's just that. So he kills him, and everybody loved Alan Tudyk's character. Like, for him to go out like that, it was
so
just
strange,
fucking weird. And I was
just
like,
a strange way to have him die.
I forgot that happened. I was like, oh, what the fuck? All right.
Speaking of Joss Whedon, we probably talked about this before, but have you ever watched Dollhouse?
I watched some of Dollhouse when they came out with the Eliza Dushku show. What was that about?
That show would never be on TV right now.
It was about him making like hot girl robots.
No. Okay. This is, okay, in the future, they've figured out a way to program people's mind.
Right.
All right. So if you're down on your luck or you need money and you don't care, you could basically go and say, listen, I'm going to give up my body and you guys can do whatever you want with it for a couple years and just give it back to me and my memories back. So basically they take your memory, they basically wipe you clean. They download your whole entire personality to a computer and then they use you for whatever they want. They can make you a sex slave, an assassin, whatever the people want to pay for, they use your doll.
Whoa.
And then basically, when that time is up, you get your body back and then you just get a bunch of money and then you can go on and live your life.
Not having known what has happened to your body.
But traces exist of what you've done.
Oh, shit.
And it kind of creeps back in your nightmares and stuff like that. And it follows a bunch of dolls.
Yeah.
And basically that some of their actual former personality that it was, erased starts seeping through and they start to realize, oh, I'm here. And the whole thing starts breaking apart. So
this show also
it would never
did
be on now because it's basically rape like all the time.
Yeah.
Like someone who is just like, voluntarily giving up their body to be used as a sex slave or whatever.
I remember watching this. It came out 2009, 2 seasons, 26 episodes. And
that's pretty edgy for Joss Whedon.
It's very edgy. And I would just watch anything Eliza Dushku was in. That's all.
She's beautiful.
Super beautiful, super hot. But that one, I watched it. I kind of lost interest. I watched a couple episodes and then.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to figure out what that show was. But that's how dark Joss can go, especially with women.
Remember back in the day, you had the luxury of being a TV show and actually figuring out what the show is as you were making instead of just having a fucking hit as it comes out when you have no idea if audiences are going to like it. Remember when they used to do that?
It was a crazy show.
Those were good times.
That's another show that would never be on TV. I mean, Westworld gives me pangs of that every once in a while.
Yeah.
But that's another one that's just out there. The show should never been on TV.
There's a lot of those. But as far as Serenity, thank you, Lisa Morrison, for your patronage, for listening, for being a friend and a member of the Jock and Nerd Nation group. Thanks. Anybody sign up, jockandnerd.com.
I have one comment on last week's show, if I can.
Okay, throw it in.
I don't remember who. I think it was Imran, probably. But whoever suggested that they'll have She-Hulk played by 2 actresses.
Yeah.
Really bad idea.
Well, look, I grew up with the Incredible Hulk.
I know what you grew up with, but you guys talked it out, and you figured out that She-Hulk
That's not a good idea.
Has to act.
Yes, what'll work.
Well, yeah, I shot that down real quick.
I just thought of that now because I remember you guys doing casting decisions. I was like, wow, that was a really bad idea.
I was just like, remember the good old days when you needed 2 people to play a character? But it was a different situation. But who didn't love Bill Bixby turning into Lou Ferrigno with a series of cuts of just his foot breaking out of a shoe and his back ripping out?
There were some other casting ones. I was like, but that one was the most. Did you suggest Alicia Cuthbert? as the She-Hulk?
No.
Eliza Dushku.
Dushku, there it
Eliza
go.
Dushku.
Too small.
Listen, my Sophia Ali pick for Miss Marvel, there it is.
Oh,
That's
that one. The only problem with that one, I thought, was that she's too old already.
She's 23. You could play a teenager. As a woman, you could still, they could dress her down to look a teenager.
I feel like Miss Marvel is like 14 years old.
No, she's like 16. She's like Peter Parker's age when he became Peter Parker.
You're getting into the Andrew Garfield / Tobey Maguire playing teenagers when they're in their mid-20s.
Tom Holland is like 20.
Yeah, he looks young, though.
Well, I can excuse it in Spider-Man because he was never meant to stay a teenager. That was just a building block for the next thing in the movie because he was in college.
Sure.
By the
Miss Marvel
by the
is a teenager as a character.
All the time.
Yeah, so far. She has not grown up yet. Good review. Let's get to some comments from our listeners. News for the Nation. We'll wrap it up.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. I can't believe I was going to say something and then I forgot about the fart and then I stopped. I can't believe Anthony actually listened to the show.
Oh, shit.
Me neither.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, do you even podcast?
Yeah.
You guys were positive.
It was all very exciting stuff. And Rug Boy, then you heard his pitch to Sony for what should happen with Spider-Man. Chaz Hubbard commented on the last episode, for anyone who hasn't listened to the most recent pod, Rug Boy has a pretty sweet pitch for Spider-Man going forward.
Their bottom is very weak.
Also, Sean Glancy says, I believe your ideas for the future of Spider-Man are better than any reality we are going to get. You have filled me with false hope.
Reach out to me if you, whenever your fight happens, we need to do another spin-off.
We need
recap the fight.
Yeah, we need a fight commentary recap. I can't wait for that. I miss Jock Talk. Not really. Except I do want to hear about Chaz's fight. Paul Mass checking in on the Facebook group. Hey, y'all, I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can after listening to this week's episode. Number one, listening to the discussion on the Eternals. What better way to drop more hints at Atlantis than with this film? I'm not asking for a fleshed out explanation, but treat it the way Wakanda was treated in Age of Ultron. Just a mention to show the fans that, yes, this place is out there, and yes, it is coming relatively soon. I like that.
Why not?
That's not bad. I mean, you get Eternals and then Black Panther 2.
Oh, I got a comment about Eternals. I would agree with your guys' thoughts on the costumes. I looked up
you don't like them, did you?
No, the costumes and the I feel like they could have gone all out with the costumes and the. I looked up the comic ones.
Yeah,
and those are crazy.
They're crazy. Yes.
I mean, some of them are kind of a little stupid, but
yes.
With something
after seeing Ragnarok and seeing all that Jack Kirby shit there,
that's what they got to do.
And with it being Eternals, where it doesn't really matter, how toned down they need to look.
Make them fucking bright. Have fun.
I would have thought you would have had fun with that one.
This movie should be the most Jack Kirby out of all their movies. This is straight up Jack Kirby style, and I loved in Ragnarok. You see it in the sets, in the costumes. Maybe I'm hoping it's just like like the initial version, and it's going to evolve.
Hopefully.
But yeah, you could. Some of the costumes would not look good on screen, obviously.
I feel like it doesn't look any different than what people wearing in Doctor Strange.
It is all kind of becoming the same look a little bit. Doctor Strange, they got the capes and the sorcerers.
At least he's got the fucking cape.
Yes, the cape's awesome.
All right, so
number two, Paul Mass says, I would love to see the next Spider-Man film feature Kraven. However, I think the tone of Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day would be best for that story. This professional that has hunted all over the world now turns his sights on Spidey. This force that continues to follow him, almost feeling unstoppable at times. Yes, take Iron Man's tech from him, strip him down to bare bones. I like to also think of the Winter Soldier as well, or even the Punisher in the first episode of season 2 of Daredevil. That feeling of dread. Tom can pull it off. Sorry for the rant. Have a great week, guys. Thanks, Paul Mast. Yeah, Kraven could be
I like
this.
that.
Cool.
To build on that idea, if this were still part of the MCU, what I would have happen is in the first scene, he would sneak into Spidey's house and disable all the tech.
Oh,
so
to
right
completely
off the bat,
take it out of the picture.
He's out. His tech is out of the picture, and then you would have him capture like Aunt May, like right off the bat too. So then you're putting him in a position where he's like, there's now a threat to the family. He knows who I am, obviously, because he's been revealed as Peter Parker.
He's vulnerable.
Like you're putting him in tough situations right off the bat, and putting in a sense of dread in him.
I like that relentless killing machine, Craven.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be dramatic for Peter to have his aunt and his identity. Well, his identity is known now, so he can't hide. So it's a way to go.
Someone had a follow-up comment, then they were like, but wouldn't Craven actually then want to go after Black Panther? Wouldn't that be a higher prize target?
Well, if it was MCU, yeah, that is
MCU, yeah. I mean, Anthony, you could still do your idea in the Sony side.
Absolutely could.
I'm kind of interested, because now you have Miss Marvel. She's your perfect Spider-Man replacement. I'm kind of interested to see what Sony is going to do. And I'm still I'm sure they're having conversations, or they're going to. It's only been a few weeks. I'm fully expecting something to happen.
Craven, Scorpion.
Yeah, he's still out there.
And like a Carnage is like some of the last stuff we've seen on screen that are big villains for him.
Yep, and you can imagine Venom 2 with Spider-Man and Venom and Carnage and Andy Serkis directing. That could fucking work.
Oh, shit.
Andy Serkis?
Maybe.
Andy Serkis.
Next thing, this was interesting. Jess Rivera and Rick Martinez both posted Shia LaBeouf to play Moon Knight for Disney Plus.
Oh, shit.
Is that a joke, or is that?
This is
do we
my
think
question.
He's a real good actor?
So
he is a good actor.
2 questions.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. 2 questions. And in the graphic, it was like, could Moon Knight be the fresh start for Shia that Iron Man was for Robert Downey Jr.? He could play a crazy guy.
I would have imagined, and this is maybe just my bias, but I would have imagined Moon Knight being a little bit more of a physically imposing human.
A little bit taller.
Yeah.
A little more
yeah.
buff.
No, I mean, just someone. Someone bigger than. Shia LaBeouf is small.
So he just put out these weird movies called Honey Boy and the Peanut Butter Falcon. I don't know what these are.
I've seen. I haven't seen Peanut Butter Falcon, but I've heard that it's great.
He played John McEnroe in the Borg versus McEnroe movie. Holy shit! I did not know that.
There was a movie I watched with him in it. I forgot what it was called. What did you say it was called? Honey
Boy.
That's not
Borg versus McEnroe. American Honey is another movie.
American Honey.
Yes, 2016.
That's the one I saw with it. Yes.
Man Down, Sia music video. He's done a lot of weird stuff. And then so the follow-up question that you already asked, Christopher Mosel posted, I'm confused. We're allowed to take Shia seriously again?
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
I think that he's been doing like some interesting stuff. I saw American Honey. I thought that was pretty good. He's been in some other stuff. But this new Peanut Butter Falcon or whatever is
Peanut Butter. Yeah, it's called the Peanut Butter Falcon.
It's about a kid who is mentally disabled, and he wants to be a wrestler, and he kind of befriends Shia LaBeouf, and he kind of like takes him on like a journey, if you will.
Yeah, it's playing in all like the festivals and getting pretty good reviews.
I've heard that he's very good in that. So,
what
I don't know. I mean, whatever. I wouldn't go Shia LaBeouf either.
Yeah,
I don't think he's the guy for this.
Yeah.
You gotta have likability, and he doesn't have that really. He wasted all that in the Transformers movies.
But those Transformers movies.
Has he redeemed himself the way like apparently Robert Pattinson has redeemed himself?
See, that's a good question.
Acting-wise, yeah.
I think he has. I think he's, as I said, I saw him in a couple of movies that were actually, his acting was actually very good. And he does come off as talented, but I don't think that, number one, he's the guy for this. And I don't know. I'm not even sure that Robert Pattinson is the guy for Batman.
We'll see. I think Pattinson will be all right. He's really into it. There's an article.
I'm very skeptical.
There's an article in Variety talking about how much he was into it, and he was really mad that it leaked before he got the part. But under Matt Reeves' direction, it could be good. Anthony, out of all the D23 announcements, what were you most excited for?
Actually, probably I would go with Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, really?
That's mine. Yeah,
I just didn't see that coming.
Right.
I mean, I didn't see She-Hulk coming either. To be honest, Miss Marvel, I'm not surprised that
new characters though being introduced on the TV side.
She-Hulk, little surprised, but Moon Knight, I was like, Moon Knight on, and I'm more excited for the fact that, or not excited, but intrigued by the fact that it's going to be on Disney Plus. Like, how do you balance this character that's supposedly kind of dark and is dealing with a lot of mental illness issues? And you're putting him on a platform that is perceived to be this wholesome PG-13-esque platform. So
I think it's a layup, to be honest with you. I think that easier to do Moon Knight than to do a She-Hulk. Because just effects wise, you could do a guy,
guy in a suit,
the material that you're covering, how adult it is, they can totally control that, and that doesn't cost them anything. But how they handle She-Hulk is going to be how much money are they going to throw at that? So that's the question I have: is that if people are going to watch this gigantic green woman? Like Moon Knight, you got the costume. All you need is a good costume and some good kung fu moves, and you're halfway there.
I have a feeling these shows are going to have pretty healthy budgets. If the look of the Mandalorian is any indication, they spent $100 million on that series, 10 to 15 million an episode. It looks movie quality. I don't think they're going to sleep on the Marvel shows. Like I'm expecting similar production budgets for these shows. Because they're short runs. You could spend a lot of money on them. And plus, you're going to introduce these characters into the MCU proper in the movie. You're going to have to get this shit sorted out, make it look exactly like it's going to look in the movie already. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're going to have to spend, if the plan is to then spin these into movies, you can't have them look like subpar on TV and then be like, oh, look, now that they're in a movie, we're going to put. It's just going to be weird.
That's so. But the thing I'm most intrigued is how they're going to make Miss Marvel's powers look cool.
I remember you guys talking.
Yeah, she's got fantastic Four stretchy powers.
It's going to be played for comedy. Like I think a lot of these things are not going to be action based shows. Like She-Hulk's going to be like a law thing, probably.
Moon Knight's like a psychological Daredevil-y kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's mostly going to be just like fight scenes.
And then Miss Marvel's your teen comedy. And then, but then we also have all the other shows that have
so the powers are not going to be as much of a important role in the show.
Last thing in news from the nation, shout out to Fiddlesticks Winterbottom III for sharing a video essay from one of our favorite video essay guys. We talk about his videos all the time. Patrick H. Willem does some great video essays. This one titled, Learning to Appreciate Joel Schumacher's Batman.
Oh, shit.
He makes some good points. It's a very interesting perspective, especially given time of all the superhero movies that have come out afterwards. Looking back at it, it is quite fun, and those movies are unique. And you know what? Val Kilmer, not the worst Batman. He was pretty good. I forgot.
I didn't hate him.
No, he was just in a crazy fucking movie.
Yeah, I just don't like Joel Schumacher's movie at all, but like I like Val Kilmer as Batman. He wasn't. I like the suit, except for the nipples.
Well, he mentions why the nipples and the ass shots work, and what Schumacher was really doing the '66 Batman in big budget. But it's his take on this character.
I will say I haven't seen the video.
Yeah,
and I like Patrick Wilhelm, but I don't think there's anything that can convince me that that's a fucking good movie.
It's not a good move. Watch the video. It's just like appreciate, because Schumacher has made some fucking great movies.
I don't know if I can appreciate that movie.
Can you appreciate? Brought up a good point, and maybe you can't. We can. Rugs, the fucking 90s soundtracks of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Right, as shit as the movie was, Batman Forever gave us "Kiss from a Rose" from Seal, which is a great fucking song.
That is that is an all-time song.
Yeah, U2. Yeah. I thought the U2 song "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me" was great, but you had PJ Harvey, you had Brandy, you had Mazzy Star, Nick Cave, Method Man, The Flaming Lips, and Michael Hutchins from In Excess.
Does the soundtrack make a movie?
But I don't know. It was a memorable soundtrack.
One of those things. That was one of those things at that time when music actually mattered.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes, and the soundtrack.
And you would see a lot of big name artists on movie soundtracks.
You actually paid for music, and you bought albums and shit, and it wasn't just everything free. It mattered when you bought a soundtrack.
I do remember that era because I remember buying like the Armageddon soundtrack, the Space Jam, the Godzilla 97. One I bought.
Yeah, not in the
more because I was a Godzilla fan, but you still had P. Diddy doing a song. I mean, I do remember that era. For sure.
Mid-90s movie soundtracks were the best. Batman and Robin had the Smashing Pumpkins, Bone Thugs and Harmony, R. Kelly, which is a dirty word now, R.E.M., Jewel, Goo Goo Dolls, Michelle and Degeojello. Just some, and that one really didn't have a big hit as big as Seal, but Joel Schumacher.
The Seal song is just
Joel Schumacher directed the Seal video. Even that's how big it was.
Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I was like,
that's part of that movie.
I know. I was like, too bad this movie is what it is because this is a great fucking song. The 90s are great. I wish they would come back.
That was just the difference between that and the Nolan movies. It's like everything in that movie was over the top.
Yes.
Like just like Chase Meridian. Like her name was like
Chase.
Meridian.
Yeah,
like,
Meridian.
It was like the 60s show. And that's how much I hate the 60s show once I realized what it was.
But look, there's so many different kinds of Batman that were in the comics. Like there's multiple versions of Batman. He just did this take. I
know, but it feels like I know that it exists, but because it exists, it doesn't mean I have to like.
Well, he also brings up the point that we can appreciate the fact that after Joel Schumacher's Batman, all the superhero movies we got tried so hard to move away from what Joel Schumacher did. So we may not have gotten to X-Men and Spider-Man in the MCU.
So we should be thanking this motherfucker.
Tanked Batman.
Well, this is the thing. People are trying to push things in that direction.
Yeah.
And that's also a bad idea. I think that the hardest thing to do is to find balance.
Yes. Yeah.
Balance is key.
But nobody does like crazy, fun, campy ass shit like those fucking movies. You're never going to see that again. So they have a unique place in time.
You can do it. Yeah. You can't take it seriously.
Wow.
You just can't be like, okay, this is a great movie. You can be like, it's a fun movie. It's fun to laugh at.
The closest one that I've seen to that in this kind of era is Venom.
Yeah, you've
got Venom saying, Eddie, I have to admit, I was a loser.
Like a turd in the wind.
Yeah.
Eddie. Yeah, that's kind of what I enjoyed was like, it was a throwback to like just fucking camp, batshit crazy. When like bad guys were just bad guys.
Did it.
Yeah.
Like they had the suits. They did the suits. They did the outrageous action and stuff like that, but they also like kept it grounded to a degree. And I thought that was kind of cool.
But these Schumacher films, the bad guys were just bad guys. There was no backstory. There was no layered, deeper thing. So, it reminds me of the 60s Batman comics when it was just wacky setups on the cover.
Yeah.
Every issue. Just like Batman.
Lazy.
Yeah. All right, look. We're going to peace out, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
Oh, you could find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy, where I occasionally mess with people.
He likes to do that. Show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/292 for links to everything we talked about, how to subscribe on all the platforms, how to get in touch, how to support, all the fun stuff. Check it out. And if you like the show, listener, as always, tell a friend, tell one person, spread it like gonorrhea.
Jock and Nerd.
Give it one of these, your friend that never leaves you for life. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I thought that you meant the herp.
The herp or the guy? Is that I got confused on my STDs. I apologize.
Gonorrhea where it burns when you pee.
What's the matter? You burning?
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
My penis is hot.
My balls is hot.